Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Creative Herd Studios Presents. I know, I'm a nerd, you'll get used to me. Alright, so what our last project was the graffiti name folder. I have that up here right now for you to look at, just to kind of reference back to what we did before. We're going to start working on the next project, which is going to be a Shattered Values. It's a pretty cool project. A lot of my students like it. Of course, not everybody's going to like every project that we do, but this one actually is pretty popular and it's really successful. It's a great way for you to kind of get into learning about art, doing an exercise. Not a whole lot of pressure, but you learn a lot about it. So let's get started. While we're working on this project, we want to think about time frame. I'm going to give you about 2 weeks to do this assignment. Your first week is going to be all about contoured line, and that's what we're going to start talking about first, is the contour line drawing part of the assignment. The second week we're going to come in and we're going to start working about values. We're going to put values into our piece. It's going to be pretty cool. I'll show you some final examples before we even get started so you kind of know what we're doing before we get into that part of the lesson. So keep that in mind. Week 1, get the contour line drawing part done. I want that done by Friday. And week 2, you'll also have until Friday, is going to be the values part. So by the end of next week, you should be completely done with this assignment. So your first objective will be understanding the difference between contour line drawing and an outline drawing. We use those terms a little bit differently in the art class, and we'll talk about that. Your second objective is going to be mastering hand pressure when creating values. And again, that part's going to come next week for y'all. The third objective for this assignment is to create a shattered contour drawing filled with successful value scales. So that's the creation part of it, okay? So you have learning about the elements, learning the technique, and putting it all together to create an interesting artwork, all right? Okay, let's talk about the materials that you're going to need for this project. Very simple project. All you're going to need is paper. So you'll need a blank sheet of paper. Remember, we don't want to use notebook paper, but whatever else you have would be great, even if you have just a piece of white computer paper. That'll work fine for this, okay? You're going to want a pencil. Again, just like the last project, I'll be using my Daily Rounding pencils from Walmart. Any kind of pencil will work. If you just have a number 2 yellow pencil, that would be fine. I don't really encourage a mechanical pencil for this project because a mechanical pencil, I don't know if you've ever drawn with one before, but they tend to smudge really, really easily, and they sort of lift up and become lighter. They don't have that nice, dark, rich value that you're really going to need. I do love drawing with mechanical pencils, but this project, you kind of lose some of that crispness that you want. So I'll be using probably the HB pencil out of this set. We talked about that last week, so you should know what an HB pencil is by now. You're going to want a sharpener, if you're at home especially, so if you have some kind of sharpener, and something to erase with if you do make a mistake, and also to kind of lift up some values if you go a little bit too dark too fast. So those are your materials that you're going to need. Here we have an outline, a line drawing that catches only the outer edge of the object. Imagine it like this. You are simply tracing around the outside of the object, like when tracing your hand. There are no inside details. Here we have contour line, which is a line drawing that catches the outer edge of the object, as well as any inner details. This is what we're primarily going to use for this project. For this project, I'm going to use Alf as my reference. I don't know if you guys know who Alf is, but he's a pretty cool little character. This is the part where you get to choose what you want to draw, and you can actually use a copyrighted image for this project because it's going to be more of an exercise of the technique than it is an actual original artwork that we're going to create. And we're going to change it up a lot. So here's where you're going to pick what you want to use. All right, the first thing you're going to want to do is get yourself some kind of station set up, especially if you're at home and not in the classroom. So I have my paper out and I can actually see my image, and that's going to be really important. You want to look at that the whole time. So while I'm looking at my image, I'm going to start drawing out basic lines, basic shapes. I'm sketching this out. I'm kind of loosely drawing this. I'm going to be erasing some of these things later. I'm breaking things down into shapes as I'm doing this. So I'm trying to block it into different things. Think about squares, ovals, circles, trapezoids, those kinds of shapes. All right, notice I've filled up my whole page here. Now what I'm going to want to do is go in and start drawing in cleaner, crisper lines over my really sketchy lines. And I really want to do this because I want to have these clean shapes to work with when we do start adding value. Now using my eraser, I'm going to go through and erase all my sketchy lines so I have nice clean lines. And here you have it. Here is my contour line drawing. I hope you enjoyed watching this. This is the first installment of your Shattered Value Pictures. Please pick something that you like. Please have fun with it. Make sure that you're doing nice, clean lines and using up your page. I'll see you later.